Jai Shriman Narayan. Jai Shriman Narayan. Jai Shriman Narayan. I pay my obeisances to my spiritual master, Srimad Jagadguru Sudarshan Acharya Maharaj. I pay my obeisances to Lord Sri Ramanuj. I pay my obeisances to our Purva Acharyas. I pay my obeisances to our 12 Alvars. I pay my obeisances to Mother Lakshmi, and I pay my obeisances to Lord Sriman Narayan. I welcome all of you physically at the Sri Narayan Dham in Durban, South Africa. I welcome those that's watching this discourse locally, nationally, and internationally, and I welcome in advance those that's going to be watching this discourse when it is posted on YouTube and the various groups from around the world subsequently. I welcome Lord Ramanuj and Guruji on the 8th day of our celebrations of the month of Ramanujans. Is it the 8th day?
Yes.
Okay. I missed one day yesterday because I was in an event. And I want to wish all the mothers around the world, starting from Mother Lakshmi, going down to my mother personally, and then all the mothers that have existed since creation, that and those that exist today. I'm going to pay tribute to my mom, and I think each of you should pay tribute to your own mom as I move along. So ever since I remember my mom, she took 100% care of me with whatever means she had, even if it meant her depriving herself with whatever she needed. And I remember clearly when I went to Sastry College, I needed a blazer, and she gave me her entire wages to buy that blazer. That entire wage packet. She used to be a machinist in a clothing factory, and I remember standing on that Friday at the gates of the factory. I was staying with my aunt at that point in time, and she just gave me the entire envelope to buy my blazer. These are big things. These are things that moms do. She protected me throughout my life up until the day she died. She had 4 other children, but I was her favorite son. I was working in the police force. I had a business. I was running a minibus taxi business, but she would still give me spending when I went to visit her. 20 rand, when my taxi was making 200 rand a day. But that 20 rand meant a whole lot for both sides, for her and for me. She knew that I was going to be somebody special, and when I say special, I don't mean in the material world, because she was always upset with me for drinking and smoking, but she would not be upset with my brother or anyone else. And she would just want me to be righteous all the time, which I was in the main. Only when I drank, then I would go a little insane, but I disciplined myself from a young boy to take the righteous path and never get involved in something of which I had no knowledge. My mother taught me A, B, C, D. She taught me time. She taught me to read. She taught me to write when I was 3, maybe 4. This is why I said when I was in primary school, I finished read all the James Hadley Chase. And I was an avid reader because my mother pushed me to read. If the library records can show, it would show how many thousands of books I have read. And I think if Shovan remembers, if I went to the library, I will pick up 4 1,000-page books at a time. You remember? 4. And in about 5 days, I would go back to the library and bring another 4. So I educated myself in all aspects of life. And I know sometimes my children fight with me, sometimes people from the outside would fight. Most of the time Mataji would say, you always want to be right. And I say yes. I say yes because I have backed up knowledge. I have backed up knowledge in every subject. I will never ever take a subject on. I'll never debate with anyone. I'll never argue with anyone if I am not sufficient in the knowledge that I am arguing. So I always will be right, won't I? If I only take battles where I have all the answers, then won't I always be right? Do you understand? I don't jump from here to there, go and get involved in arguments, gossips, in places and things that I don't know. Because when I take on something, and it's knowledge is there, knowledge is in the universe. I'm talking about material knowledge. And this foundation was laid by my great mother, who only had standard 4 education. But she made sure that she pushed me to the limits. And this grounding, you can see books around me. Even though I'm a self-realized guru, what do you see around me? Books. Because even if I'm giving you knowledge in Sanatana Dharma from the Vedas through realization, I don't just give it to you. I make sure I go and find it in the Vedas first, so that when you want to question me, I can corroborate it with a Vedic injunction. All of you understand? And this seed was planted by my mom. And today, it has grown into me becoming a guru in the Sri Sampradaya. So a tribute to all the moms. Sometimes when they guide you and they push you in certain ways, you may think they are against you, but they are doing it for your benefit. Mothers have inherited this attribute of protection. It is part of their chemistry, it is part of their being, to protect and preserve their children. It is their nature, because as I explained 2 days ago, Ashmika, I heard you were very happy with that explanation that I gave, that both you and Avira are equal. You only inherit a female or a male body. The soul is neither a male nor a female. So when that soul enters the composition of a female body, then those attributes of a mother is inherent. You'll find that in all mothers, even in animals. You'll see, we had pups here recently, and you will see the mother protecting the pups up until the time they were ready to move around. And then animal mothers forget, but human mothers never forget until they die. And my mother wanted me clean all the time, and a month before her death, I miraculously stopped smoking on the 2nd of October, one day before my birthday. One day before my birthday, that was a wish to see me clean, all alive. She was 54, and I think I was 32, I'm not too sure. And she passed on the 15th of November that year. She saw her son clean and pure when she closed her eyes. I think Sean was 5. Because on the last day that she was alive, and Sean was a naughty child, he was not allowed in the hospital, so he forced himself in, and thank God he did that, so my mother could see him for the last time. And when the nurse came past, he hid under the bed. And that really made my mother laugh. She was happy. She was very, very happy because Showan was her favorite grandchild, and she was extremely happy. And contradicting her happiness, she could not recognize me. She was asking everyone around the bed, who is that man standing there? I was at the feet of the bed. Because people lose their memory when they are about to go. But she remembered Showan, and she was very happy when Showan hid under the bed, and when the nurse went past and Showan came out. And that was the last I saw of my mom. A great lady. In her circumstances, I don't think anyone could have done any better, not only for me, but all her 5 children. All her 5 children. Under her circumstances, I think she was the greatest mom on earth. And I want you to remember your mom in this way. Each one of you that still have a mother, do your best, because there are many of us that are thinking how much more we could have done if our mothers were. I had very, very dark days. I was sick for many, many, many years. And my mother, although I abandoned her, she never ever abandoned me. When I went back home, after many times of abandoning her, when I say abandon, I didn't listen to her. And all what she told me was the absolute truth. But I didn't want to listen to her because I was not in a mindset, I was not ready to listen to her. But I would always land back at her door, and she would always take me in. Next morning, my cigarettes were bought. When I opened my eyes, I would see my green packet of consulate there. When I was smoking, my cigarettes were a very, very big thing to me in my life. She would somehow make sure I have my chutney 3 times a day. That's my mom. How she got it, nobody would know. I remember her playing many tricks. I hated mealie rice, and she would dish out mealie rice with my chops underneath and tell me eat mealie rice and vegetables. I hated veg. The only veg I could eat was bhaji and dal. Any other veg, potatoes, well, through association, I simply hated vegetables. here I'm sitting and I've given quite a few discourses on why you should be eating vegetables. But my mom was there, my mom made sure, whether she begged or borrowed, I still don't know up until today, but I know even as an adult, first she took care of me as an infant, then as a teenager, then when I got married, I had my own premises, I was a businessman. She still took care of me when I had to go back to her. That was my mom. And I'm sure all of you resonate with my story because this is the caliber of what moms are made of. So on this Mother's Day, I want to wish my mother, I know where she is, a happy Mother's Day. She has been the best mom, and I want all of you to think of your mothers in the same way. Each mother has to be the best mom on earth, and collectively, this Mother's Day can mean Mother's Day. If every mother has been the best mother on earth, don't look at their faults. Don't look at their character. Only look at the nurturing that they gave you. And those that are still alive that can give you. So that is one part of this discourse on this Mother's Day. And I wanted to discuss something else on this day, the son of a mother. And I'm talking about myself. I think I need to do this from time to time. So I grew up in very hard circumstances. As I said, my mom worked in a factory and we lived in town, Agnes Road, 53 Agnes Road, when I first started school. So I went to Methodist Primary School, which is now there's a taxi and a bus rank. There's a taxi and a bus rank, and from class 1 throughout my primary school, I was in the top 3. I remember my friend who was a Dr. Besessa, is now in New Zealand. He used to bring a pack of lunch for me. So every day his mom will tie a pack of lunch for me, and that happened from throughout my primary school. And I was very, very happy because they ate meat every day. His mother was a Christian and his father was a Hindu, but they ate meat 7 days a week. So what do you think was in my lunch? Yeah, I had top lunch, all right? Then, as I said, I went to Sastry College. And Sastry College was a school where you had to have a certain percentage before they allowed you entry. And I would do all my assignments in advance, 7, 8 assignments in advance, all the subjects. In Standard 8, I chose S7. I would do everything in advance. I was efficient, I was principled, I was neat, I was tidy. If you looked at my writing, you would think it was one of the girls that wrote. My writing was neat and tidy. Everything about me was prim, proper, and concise. And I would go the extra length. I would visualize from every angle. I felt when I was still in my teens, I felt I was an adult already because of my reading extensively. I knew what adults knew because I read books that were written by adults, researched by adults, and put together by adults. So when I had this information in my head, it would naturally make me think like an adult. I would see things differently. I wasn't wasn't lazy just to accept whatever was given. I would go out of my way and look at anything in all its dimensions. And that is what has become unique of myself. So when I joined the police force, that was my first employment, I strategized how to catch the maximum amount of criminals in a minimum amount of time. And I was successful, and this is why in the apartheid time, during apartheid, the station commanders, white station commanders, had deep respect for me. I crossed many lines in the police force. I crossed many lines in the police force which no other Indian would have crossed and survived. But when I crossed these lines, they looked at it with the input that I had brought in the police force together with it. And this is how I survived. I was always a team player. I was always a team player. I could take one for the team. What does that mean, Jessica? Jessica is drowsy, she's sick. Satish is sick. But you have to hear the Guru's voice to get better. And this is why I asked you to come to Satsang. And after this, I'm going to make you better. Tomorrow you're going to phone and tell me, Guruji, I'm feeling much better. See, I'm saying this on live. I'm saying this because I'm a guru based on evidence. This is what this discourse is about today. So I said I'm a team player, I can take one for the team. What does that mean? I can sacrifice myself so that others may not be harmed. And it was 1986. It was a New Year's Day. And all of us drank at a particular place. Many policemen and myself, we had a good drink because it was New Year's Day and we were starting work at 2 p.m. on the 1st of January 1987. We drank from 86 to 87. Alright? And then we went on our duties, all of us reeking of alcohol. And my station commander, at that point in time, he was not our station commander. He was the commanding officer of that operation on New Year's morning. And he stood there and we went on parade and he said, who drank? Because he was standing right next to me, I put up my hands, I was sent home and I was found guilty for being drunk on duty. But there were 23 other people with me that were also drunk on duty. By me taking this step, I saved the other 23. Then there were many other instances in the police force. Many things happened, but I always took it for the team. And then I went into business, and I want you to understand when I said I am unique in things that I do. I was unique in the police force in terms of how I coordinated my arrest. I arrested over 1,000 Schedule 1 criminals in my small lifetime. In 10 years, over 1,000. And if you divide that 10 years, 3 years I worked in the office, 7 years outside, it will be about 130 a year. I know policemen that are going to retire have not even arrested what I arrested in 1 year. Yes, Dana? All right. It was because of my uniqueness. I always found a way to make things better than it is. It's an attribute that God inserted in me. So when I joined the minibus taxi association, I went into a taxi business. I started driving my taxi, my station commander, same station commander who had me charged. Now he became my station commander. And because he knew that I was a man, I took it for the rest of the team. I was the boss in the station. I was the boss in the station. You can ask Mataji. I had an unmarked car. For 2 years, Mataji did not know which day I was working. Until she went to the station commander and asked the station commander, what type of a policeman is my husband? I don't know when he's on duty. I don't know when he's off duty. He's drinking all the time with his friends. Is he really working? But my salary was coming every month, you understand? That is the leverage he gave me because I took one for the team. I was a boss. I was an Indian, but I was a boss in a white station during apartheid. So when I went into minibuses, he told me, he used to call me Sammy. He couldn't pronounce me as Shami. He said, Sammy, I'm going to approve 1 month's leave. You're going into a business. It's better you drive yourself so that you will know how the business is. And believe me, Jessica, go and research it. In that year when I went into business, you could not be a state employee and be a businessman together. But my station commander loved me so much because I was a man. I was a real man. I was brave. I took one for the team. That these are the benefits you get when you are brave. These are the benefits in life you get. So I drove and I changed the whole system in Phoenix from 5 in the morning to 8 in the morning. I found another route. I would pick up my passengers at one stop, N2, and back there in 35 minutes. To pick up my second load, I would pick 6 loads and then come home and sleep. At 4 o'clock in the afternoon, I would go back and do 3 more loads. I would make more money than those people that worked the whole day because I was unique. I could see from the top. I always knew how to better whatever I am doing. Okay? So I created my own system from a system that was inherently there for about 10, 15 years. And then I came to the Point Taxi, Durban Point Taxi Association. And there we would sit for 45 minutes to get a load, and we would go right down to Waterfront. There was a rank there. You sit another 45 minutes to get a load, and then you would come down. So there were 2 ranks, 1 rank in the top, 1 rank in the bottom. Waiting time, 45 minutes. Kilometers, 14 kilometers. 7 kilometers to go up, 7 kilometers to come down. But every time when I went up West Street, I saw between 320 building and workshop, hundreds of passengers making the wheel sign. You'll remember the wheel sign? Yes. So I decided that I'll only work in the ranks in the morning when there's queues of people. And from 8 o'clock, I would start only loading at workshop and offloading at the wheel. How far is the workshop from the wheel? 2 kilometers. So I'll go to the workshop, I'll tell my conductor, tell them 1 stop wheel. Then I'll go offload at the wheel and hit the back road and come there. I would do 50 loads a day. When we used to cash up in a garage in Alice Street, when the drivers were cashing up 130, 140 rand, I would cash up 800 rand, 900 rand. My bag used to be big. And that association and that taxi was there for 50 years. Was there for 50 years. Are you understanding where I'm coming? I'm giving you evidence when I'm saying I am unique. I'm going to use another word in the end. For now, just use the word unique. Then I went into the spice business. I found a man from India who could source spices, raw spices, and send it direct to me. And then I had a innovation. I saw biltong in chrome packets. Biltong in chrome packets. And as I said, I'm unique and I'm different. And I was the first person. Now you will find spices in chrome packet. I was the first person. I sourced the packets in Cape Town. I had the packets delivered to me. That spice that was costing 5 rand a kilo, I was selling it for 20 rand a kilo because of the packaging, the neatness, the uniqueness, and the ingredients that I changed myself. And a major spice company at that point in time, talking about 25 years ago, they said, listen, I want to pay you 300,000 rand. I don't want your recipe, I just want you to stop. And 300,000 rand about 25 years ago was a lot of money. So you can see where I'm coming from the police force, from the taxi industry. I went into spices, and then I went into civil engineering. I went into civils, I built bridges, I built roads, I built storm waters, again, unique in getting the pipes to strange places. Instead of doing one contract in one area, I asked my friend, I was working for him, I asked him to get 4 tenders in one area, and I was managing the entire thing. His highest was 100,000. When I left him, he was doing tenders for up to 3 million. So I've always been innovative, I've always been different. When we came to this land here, this ashram land, this land was purportedly to be owned by developers, property developers, Vasan. When I was introduced to this land, those people that was owning this land were property developers. For over 30 years here in Reswell, they have developed hundreds of properties. They are the biggest property developers in this area, but they could not envision how to get the dynamics. See, today this property is terraced all over. When we got here, this was one house on a cliff. One house on top of a cliff. There was not even parking space for one vehicle. This land, this hill on my left was right here to the ashram door. And this on my right was going straight down to the M19. On that side, it was going straight down to the stream. And on this side, you can see how steep it still is. And there was no driveway here. Halfway up the driveway was a 12-meter ravine. So they could not envision how to connect a driveway and to make this property use. I'm using every meter of this property, am I not?
Yes.
Yes, this property, and they were property developers, not estate agents. Property developers. They could not figure out how they could develop this property. I placed a driveway there. You were supposed to buy 400 truckloads of fill to fill up that dimension. In 11 days, one excavator I filled up. I took the same sand from the land, I terraced the land, and I made that driveway. You understand? Why am I saying this? Okay? It's going to help you today when you submit. You didn't think of that? Yes, but there's another reason I'm saying this. Because if you take all of these things and you understand me, you will say the Guru is smart, won't you? Say the Guru is smart. And I'm coming with that smartness since birth. I've been different since birth. I can change dynamic since birth. I can change material dynamic. This ashram will tell you that. This ashram itself will tell you how I changed this material dynamic. And that gave me the perfect CV to be a guru, didn't it? So now, when I try to change you, I'm smart for you. I am aware, I'm smart. In every dimension, Guru is smart. And that is why you see the ebb and flow of people, because the Guru is too smart. I know. The Guru knows. Guru knows. And I want to end up by saying that preaching is a thankless task. Preaching is a thankless task. I want to say this again. Preaching is a thankless task. And all gurus know it. Gurus are gurus all their lifetimes. Gurus are gurus. All bona fide gurus know preaching is a thankless task. But we have to discuss this because we're running an institution. We are running an institution, and you must know how to behave in an institution. So we have to discuss certain aspects just because the institution, for the benefit of the institution and other members in the institution. So there was a drunk old man that landed in this ashram about 3 years ago. Wife had abandoned him, he was kicked out of his house, his children had abandoned him. He was steeped in alcohol, and he landed in this ashram. I cleaned him up, I got him back to his wife, I got him back to his children, I got him back to a job, I made him prosperous. He disrespected this ashram this week. When he did it the first time, I left him, and he did it again this morning. He did it again this morning. This is the type of people I get in this ashram. This is the type of people I get in this ashram. You understand? So I always advise all of you, whenever your mind is not right, go to Vasan. Do I say that? Yes. Go to Vasan, because Vasan does not remember his repaired days. When Vasan is in this ashram, he remembers the darkness in which he came. Yes, Vasan? Because he remembers the darkness in which he came here, he remains loyal to this ashram. He remains loyal to this ashram because every time, every day he remembers what his position was before he met the Guru. So Vasan was lost for 3 months. He was sick 3 or 4 months or more before you met me.
I think that whole year was all
okay. He's gone to a year, alright? Vasan was sick for a year. He went to all spiritual places. He went everywhere he could so that he could get better. He couldn't concentrate on his business. He couldn't concentrate on his health. and he has a wealthy family, but Vasan is a principled son. He wants to work. He wants to be an independent person. When he was introduced to me, after how long you got better, Vasan?
Same time, within that week, there were changes.
And after how long you started work again?
Almost immediately.
And after how long your work got prosperous?
Well, now it's more prosperous than what it was, but that time everything started. After I met you, everything changed. 1 millimeter, one small millimeter at a time.
And Vasan has been loyal to this. You can see how quiet he is, but if you tackle his guru, he becomes a lion. He becomes a lion. Vasan has went through hell through his family. His family didn't approve. His family didn't see the changes. They believe it is coincidence right up to his mom, but he defied his own mother. He defied his own mother. He defied his own sister, who is a very, very high-profile person in this country. He defied a whole lot of people just to be loyal to the Guru, because he knows when his light was off, who turned it on. So I'm giving you on this Mother's Day these two incidences. Alright? You know, people come in this ashram in various states. In various states. Some of them death knocking on the door. We put them right. And that's a state you must remember your Guru all the time. Not that the state you are in, because if you remember the state you are in now, today, then you'll be like this drunk old man. He forgot his dark days. He forgot how he entered here. He's only thinking how prosperous he is today. His children came right, they got married, they got jobs. He's thinking, yeah. He's not thinking when all that was not even possible. So do you think it is necessary for the Guru to discuss these parallels? Because these parallels don't benefit the Guru in any way. I'm going to leave this material body, you're going to leave this material body. I'm going to come back as a Guru, you're going to come back as a disciple. This is continuous. This will happen all the time. So the Guru do not stress about this. But it is a lesson of principle. It is a lesson of principle and being an opportunist. Being an opportunist. And I'm going to end by saying that I've stated many million times, I have taught you the science of the soul. I have taught you the science of the soul. Inside your soul, Lord Narayan lives. Inside your soul. You can lie to the Guru, you can lie to your husband, you can lie to your wife, you can lie to the boss, you can lie to everyone. But that person that is witnessing you 24/7 is Lord Sriman Narayan, and he is living inside your soul. You can't lie to him. You can never lie to Lord Sriman Narayan. He is living inside your soul, and the Guru is in direct contact. Guru is in direct contact to all the Lord Narayans. Tibeshni is Lord Narayan, Avir is not Lord Narayan, Sita is Lord Narayan, Jessica is Lord Narayan, I am in total communication all the time with all the Lord Narayan. And through Lord Narayan, I know whether you sick, whether you're not sick, whether you right, whether you're not right. There is a saying that before the Guru sleeps, he does a sweep. He does a sweep. How is it possible to do that sweep? Only through Lord Narayan, who updates the Guru on what you are thinking, what you are doing, how much you have lied, how much you have cheated, how much you have stolen. All those things Lord Narayan update the Guru regularly. So I don't have to ask you anything, Sita, because Lord Narayan is already there. He is my spy. Who's the Guru's spy? Sita? Lord Narayan is in constant surveillance. Constant surveillance. So I'm going to end this discourse. And I'm going to rush over to Kwamashu now. Alright? Where? Kwamashu. I need to find somebody that can take me there. So I'm working for you. And I'm also working for my country. And it's time now, is the only time that we have to put our country right. If we miss 1 second or if we miss 1 minute after 29th, we don't want that to be in our conscience. Jai Shri Ramanujans.